This is Karen with NewClevelandRadio.net, and it is time for How to Super Age with Elise Marie Collins. And Elise, you have been bringing us a variety of guests on your podcast. And when you and I talked about you starting this, I had no idea how fascinating your guests would be because today I was reading up on your guest, who you're going to introduce in a minute, and I'm in awe. And so I'm so glad that you are digging deep and helping all of us live our best. So thank you for what you bring to New Cleveland Radio.
Thank you so much, Karen. So I'm really excited to introduce our guest today, Asara Tsehai. She's the founder and CEO of Ancient Treasure, the world's simplest beauty company, and I use her products. Ancient Treasure is the name of her company, and Ancient Treasure focuses on timeless beauty for women over 40. And Asara is also an African medicine woman and a master healer who's trained with other masters. And I met her, I don't know if she remembers this, but I met her at an outdoor, it was kind of like a festival where, I call it a festival, but people were selling products outside of a gym that I was going to every Sunday. I would go to this, I forget what it's called, like stretch and strengthen class. And I was working on my book Super Ager, and there was Asara outside, and she had this fabulous product, and I became a subscriber, and I still am. So that's how I met her. And so I'm really excited to have her on today. So do you want to say anything more about yourself, Asara?
Well, thank you for giving me the opportunity to be on with you and have a sweet conversation. And as an African medicine woman, I have trained in the United States. I've trained in Europe. I've trained in Africa. I've trained in the Caribbean. My belief is that skincare. My belief is that we were designed to be in radiant health our entire lives. And I look for, the secrets of the indigenous cultures. A lot of wisdom is there because this is a new culture here, right? And there's cultures that are thousands and thousands and thousands of years old. So what's the wisdom? What's the secrets? What's the juice that from these indigenous cultures? And that's was a part of my travel. So why I went traveling to find those answers. And so that's what I'm going to be sharing with your listeners today. It's just some of the answers I found. And if they resonate with you, then try them on.
Yeah, I completely wholeheartedly agree. And I think there's almost a disbelief that I found in the United States where it's like our thoughts about aging and beauty are so ingrained. And one of my mentors, Dr. Murali Nair, he has gone around the world and filmed centenarians all over the world. And there was a woman who is, I think she's 110 in India, and she is adorned with all these bracelets. She says she feels beautiful and wonderful. And I tell that story sometimes, and I know that you guys understand and agree and say, oh yeah, she is beautiful. And to me, she's gorgeous. But I've tried to tell that story at a party. People look at me like, no, there's no 110-year-old woman that thinks she's beautiful. I'm like, okay, so what do you say to that, Sarah?
And that's the whole conversation for me, Elise and Karen, is that I really want women to shift. And it's not our fault, right? We've been fed this whole idea of youth. Everything that's youthful is the best. We've been raised in competitiveness of judging this against that, comparing this, comparing that. And so aging is a process. And so I'm really wanting to shift women, instead of them dreading getting older, is actually to look forward to it. Because let me tell you my own story. This is the result of a 40-year experiment. When I was in my 20s, I was introduced, people attempted to introduce me to health and wellness when I was about 18 and 19, when I moved from the Bay Area, when I moved from the East Coast to the West Coast, where I thought Californians were just crazy and cuckoo. And so, they were trying to introduce me to, now we're talking back in 1977, 78. They were trying to introduce me to veganism and vegetarianism. I was like, y'all tripping.
They were.
And they were doing it in a very forceful kind of way, very dogmatic. So I couldn't even hear the message because of the way it was being delivered. But, as time went on and, I became wiser and people began to deliver me the message in a different way. And I heard it from a variety of people. I began to do my own research and I saw a play. A play is what had me change my life, change how I eat and my lifestyle. And I'll tell you about the play another time, but the play was it just really showed it demonstrated where the humankind was in the very beginning and how, quote unquote, it evolved to now. And you could see how those things shifted the relationship we had with each other, shifted the relationship that we have with the earth and the planet, and how we lived. So anyway, so in my mid-20s, so it started in the 20s, I got this idea. And then I saw women who were like 40 and 50 looking good. I met these women. So I made a decision. I said, okay, if what they say is true, because I had people say, okay, in the Bible, when they're talking about people being 600 and 700, that they weren't mythical years, they were real years. And so 700, but because of our lifestyle, we cut it way back to under 100. And when I began to learn about wellness, I said, okay, if this is all true, then I should be able to be to be 100 years old and be fine, fit, and fabulous, have my health, be able to do the things I want to do. So I started that experiment when I was in my mid-20s. And I had a vision of myself, of how I wanted to look, how I wanted to be, what my health status was when I got to 60. I'm 62. So I'm living the results of that experiment from early 20s, say from 22 to now. So I had a vision. I created a vision for myself at 22, how I was going to age into my 60s, and I am loving it. And that's my message to women, that you can actually, the best is yet to come. The best is yet to come. I'm 62 and I'm having a ball. I got goals. I still want to learn how to play the piano. As I talked to you about that play, I want to create a play. I already know the woman who I want to write the play, and I want her to write a play about health and wellness. And then we're going to take that play around the country, maybe around the world, but definitely around the country with that message. So and I want to get a black belt in martial art. So those are just a few things that I want to yet do. And I just started a complete new business online, and I'm not tech savvy.
Hey, well, tell us, it's really important to have these heartfelt. I mean, what I heard from you, Asara, is that your goals, they're not just like things you made up just to have a goal, but they're really coming from your heart. They're coming from deep within you. And that's so important as we age. Tell us a little bit about your business and about this product, because I almost feel like product is not the right word. It's kind of like a magical formula. And the
Yes.
simplicity.
Yes, it is. And actually, we've renamed our formula to the Sacred Beauty Formula. So, you can say that I've been fascinated around this whole thing of the fountain of youth, right? I've kind of because that's what I was creating. I said, okay, I can still look fine, fit and fabulous at 100. Then that means, so what is in the fountain of youth? What I hear the fables, but what is it really? It came from somewhere. So that's kind of the space I was dabbling in, from the inside out and the outside in. So one of the things I did, so, I've got the wisdom for the inside, but I also wanted to know, what were these indigenous women doing with the outside of their skin? Because we've heard the tales of Egyptian women having flawless skin, right? And other indigenous cultures. So I said, okay, well, let me find out what they're talking about. So I actually, in my travels, not only was I looking at the things from the inside, the food and the herbs for healing the inner body, but I also was looking at medicinal plants for our skin. What can we also do on the outside? And so so each of those ingredients were handpicked by me. And so some of the ingredients you wouldn't expect to be in skincare. So one, our prized ingredient is frankincense, right? So that is that's a spiritual tool disguised as a cosmetic. We know that it's calming and soothing to the spirit, right? And grounding. But then it has so many benefits to using it on the skin as well, tightening up the slack skin, all kinds of things. I have sunflower, safflower in there, which is made particularly for people that have sensitive skin. Then jojoba oil, and I bless each one of my formulas, so not only do you get it, but once I have my batch in, I do a prayer and a blessing over it as well. So, when you talk to Elise about it coming from my heart, and it's, so that's kind of the spiritual piece, but in terms of what it does, it gives you glowing skin. That's what people talk about, how much their skin glows, how it makes them feel more confident and more beautiful, and the 1,001 things they can use it for, because our whole thing is simplicity. We got one body. We don't need 10 different formulas for one body.
I love that.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that there's a blessing in your product, because that's something in Ayurveda. I'm a practitioner and student and teacher of Ayurveda. And I think most indigenous cultures infused, prayer and reverence in whatever they created.
Yes.
That's just something, for example, you make ghee, which is like clarified butter.
Yes.
And that's something you use medicinally. You could put it on your skin. You could also eat it. It's not vegan, but I always say my vegan memoir will be vegan with butter. But it's always done, during a certain phase of the moon, and sacred prayers are said. If you make the formulas in the way that the Vedas or the traditions, not everyone does that, but there's tradition, and there's a thought that it's not just the physical, but you're putting something beyond physical into what you're creating. And that's what sold me on your products, because I was like, okay, this woman is doing it right. Because most of the things you buy in a store are not going to have that sacred infusion. So tell us, what do you think that sacred infusion, what do you think it brings, and anything else for?
Yeah, I know it because I have women call me up in tears. And I think if it's just in the natural world, it's skincare. Why are you crying, right? But I know that that's the blessing, whether they're talking about, that the disappointment, helped them move through the disappointment that they were feeling, or the grief that they were feeling. Or it's like, I don't know what it is, but I just know that when I don't have it on, I feel different and I don't like it. I know it does a whole, or people say, it just makes me feel connected. It makes me feel anointed. And I know with skincare, and it does make my skin look better and glow, and my fine lines disappear, and my elbows get clear and even tone. It does that. But this other thing it does, like even considering even more than the great results that they actually get with the skincare that it actually does. So it's a frequency. There's a frequency that, and I recognize that I have a gift. And so it's infused in my words, it's infused in my presence, and infused with my prayers.
It sounds like, and what is the new name? Because it's called Sacred Beauty Formula. Is that what you're naming?
We're referring to it now as the Sacred Beauty Formula, and it's going to be that's part of the new website and the new message, and it's really considered now. I hold it as a 2-step skincare ritual, because it's designed to be a ritual, and and I'm putting this video together because I have a ritual that actually goes with the 2-step ritual, and I'm going to film that. And so people will be able to use it as a spiritual tool as well, and bless themselves with the process.
Don't
So
you think that
I love
people today, we're tired of all the commercials on TV. We're
mhm,
tired of being told that um, if you do this, you can look just like Cindy Brinkley.
right,
No, I'm not going to look like Cindy Brinkley because I'm Karen Hale.
right,
We're two different people.
right.
Um, but when you can connect with something, and that's what people are doing with your product, when
Mhm,
you can connect to it
mhm,
from the inside, you're going to start healing.
mhm, mhm,
So if this is helping you heal on the outside as well and look
mhm,
better, that
mhm,
combination is awfully strong.
mhm,
Um, and like you said, you can go to the drugstore and you
mhm,
have product after product, and they all say the same thing, and they all
mhm.
have the same chemicals in them. And
Yep.
you sort of wonder, well, why is that one going to take away my wrinkles and the other one isn't when they're exactly the same?
Right.
And why is it that important that I get rid of my wrinkles?
Exactly.
Because that's who I am today.
Yes. Yes. We just want healthy skin. And that's why that's why I talk about ageless skin, right? And it's just about agelessness and us enjoying. I think the two most important things is our lessons learned, which is the wisdom, and our wellness, right? Because it's those two things that will allow us to enjoy our senior years,
It's
allow us to still have goals, and allow us, because it's the reason I say it's the best time is because, the children are usually gone, you pretty much settled in your business unless you decide to start a new business in your 60s, which is possible if you had a dream like that, and you get to it's like to me, it's okay, you got your time back now. You and your mate's time back. Okay. What are you dreaming up now? What you got to do now? And so it's like that. So that's why I say to women, it's your opportunity, because and when you did it when you were younger, you didn't have the wisdom, you didn't have the life lessons, right? You had the cutie pie body and you could pretty much do anything to it and your body still survived. Right? But then when you start to get past 40 and you get in your 40s, 50s, and 60s, then okay, you more attention is required, right? But now you've got that wellness piece, right? Because that's important. And you couple it with the lessons that you learned from the hard knocks that you had and the challenges that you had and the breakthroughs that you had. So you couple that wisdom with wellness, the
how
life
wonderful.
That's
can be sweet.
alignment. That is wonderful.
Yeah, so you talked about the special. So my website is myancienttreasure.com, www.myancienttreasure.com.
We'll put it in
And
the show notes.
Yes, we
oh,
will.
perfect. And then the special offer, I've written another, and you don't even have this, Elise, I don't think. I've written a book, an ebook, and these are my personal secrets or my personal wisdom, things that I do and recommend to women for, I have it is 9 treasured secrets for the fit, fine, and fabulous skin for women 40 and above. And it's illustrations, it's recipes, it's principles for the inside out and the outside in. It's some do-it-yourself stuff. So normally I think we're selling for like 27 or something. If you order anything, just send me a little email and say, hey, I've made this purchase. I will gift the guide to you. I will
Nice.
gift the guide to you. Yes.
That's great.
Mhm.
And so with this inside out approach, you're an African medicine woman. I'm wondering if you could just tell us a little bit, because I'm sure a lot of our listeners and even myself, I've studied and read. I mean, I haven't studied African medicine woman,
Mhm.
or
I'm your
just
first
tell us
African
about,
medicine woman you met. All right.
well, well,
There's not a lot of
actually,
us.
you may be, yes. But I'm trying to think, I probably have, because I've been studying many things, but I have, I have talked to and interviewed other, I probably, actually I have, but there's many traditions.
Yes.
And there's many different ways to be a medicine woman.
Yes,
So what
medicine
is
woman,
your
right.
take on it? So I wouldn't say
Right.
you're the first African medicine woman,
Yes.
but I think you are the African medicine woman today.
So yeah, so an African medicine woman. So kind of how I break that down, I look at, first of all, Africa. Africa being where civilization stems from as we know it on the planet, the oldest civilization on this planet. Everything began in Africa. We as human beings, no matter what our external skin looks like now, then everybody was from Africa. That's where it originates. So Africa represents the beginning, and it represents the original, right? Medicine. So life comes through women, right? You know, in terms of giving birth, you know, because I had a no. It's a rites of passage, right? It's a right. And so who do you, as a species, who do you have to be able to hold life's energy in your body, feed another human being for 9 months, continue to do your life, and then have something like a size of a watermelon come out of something that is the size of a dot? That is some serious, miraculous medicine, right? And so I look at the woman as the one that brings that medicine, that understands the earth, that is in tune with Mother Earth. We are the physical representation of Mother Earth in the physical body. And so carry with us, we also the solution to life. We come with solutions. That's a part of our design, of our intuition, if we allow that to happen. So medicine represents the woman, and her being the medicine, being the solution to life. And then African medicine with a remedy, and then the woman brings the life. So I define it as the original solution to life.
Wonderful.
As an African medicine woman. And then I've been trained in Philadelphia with the University Without Walls, through tradition of elders, where they just use their body as an experiment, as a laboratory. I've studied in Europe. I've studied in Jamaica. I had a medicine woman there train me, wilderness training, all fear training, all kinds of training. And then I said Africa, the Caribbean, Europe, and the United States. So that's where my training comes. And I used to do, when I was training in Jamaica, I would go once a year, probably for about 10 years, and do what Native Americans call the Vision Quest. And I would go there, and I would be in the mountains, and I, wouldn't be with people, and I wouldn't leave the mountains, and we had waterfalls, and I would cleanse, I would fast, so I wouldn't eat, just drink the water. And then I would always get my not my lesson, my marching orders. With 7 days, the answer didn't come to day 6 or 7. I was like, because we got it on day 2. I'd be like, okay, I got it, right? Or you got to wait to the day 6 or 7 to get it. And then it would say, okay, this is what I want you to do. This is what you're going to do. And that message would lead me for a year. So that's how who I am and how that happened as an African medicine woman. And so that name was given to me during one of those vision quests I was having up in the mountains.
I love that. And I love the way you describe it. It's very simple. And it reminds me, sometimes I say yoga, it means union, because people will think it's some strange contorted pose or some gymnastics, but yoga means union. And it is this alignment that you've been talking about this entire interview. an alignment within and without. And it's almost like you're teaching us to feng shui, feng shui our lives through through our skin. So maybe, Asara, could you tell us a little bit about what would you say the difference between just, I mean, I grew up just, oh, you moisturize, you pat things on your face. It's not a ritual. So maybe you could speak a little bit about what is a ritual in skincare and daily rituals, because I'm really into rituals, but I'd love to hear your take on that.
Okay, actually, I'll give you the ritual because you got the products. Let me share. So you know it. So it's two. So the whole thing is 2 steps. I said for 2. So how do I say 2 formulas, and you need no other skincare, right? And so you start off with step 1, which is the cleanser, which is the authentic African black soap. So this is the ash from plants, right? That is seasoned and cured and cooked for 2 weeks. It's done by women from the villages, right? So just like you said, so there's a ritual with that because the women are there together and they're talking and they're laughing and they're curing this black soap and burning it, right? Until it gets to the right. And then what we do, we get that and then we liquefy it, right? So then we add, because, and it's been known forever for problematic skin. And it can be a little drying. So we add some more moisturizing things to it, some oils and some shea butter. So that way, oh yeah, she's bringing it to me. Thank you. So this is what it looks like. There you go. There's our wonderful. This is what it looks like. It comes in a pump here. So it's liquid, right? So one little drop in the like in your hand, you run it down the water and you put it on your face, and you do that, and it comes with a facial cleanser. And what it does, it acts like a sponge, so it absorbs the toxins from your skin, but very gentle, not harsh. You can also use it as a shampoo. You can also use it as a body wash. So head to toe beauty with just those 2 things. And that is just kind of, so when you're doing it, you're just kind of just washing your face and doing that, and you can feel how refreshed you feel. Now your beauty formula, here's the beauty formula. Again, this is the 2 ounce here of the beauty formula, the sacred beauty formula. You need very little. So in this one, you're just going to take a little dab. This is a little gift size you can carry in your purse. And you're going to just put a little bit, and this is what you do. This is the ritual. So I put, for me, after my face is clean and you feel it. So, I dab it like on my eyes a little bit. And then I just think, because, we're in a culture that just acknowledges the mind. We don't really deal with the body. So this is an opportunity to acknowledge the work that the body does on our behalf. So as I'm, putting it on, I'm saying, thank you, eyes, for all the beauty that you see. Thank you, nose, for all the wonderful scent that you allow me to smell. Thank you, mouth and lips, for all the healing balm words that come forth that I speak, that transform and support others. Thank you, ears, for all the beautiful sounds that you allow me to hear. Oh, and thank you, neck, for just supporting my head and all that you do. And then thank you, arms, for the things that you allow me to lift. And thank you, hands, for what you allow me to create with. And thank you, legs, for allowing me to walk and to skip and to dance and ride a bike. And thank you, feet, for allowing me to feel what the earth feels like in the grass and the sand and the ocean. Oh, just thank you and bless you. And for all in my reproduction area, thank you for allowing me to eliminate and give birth and allow me to be healthy. And thank you, heart. Oh, and for pumping the blood through and giving me heart and courage and life. And so it is. Ashe.
Ashe, beautiful ritual, beautiful ritual. I love the gratitude. It is powerful. That is powerful. I'm going to have to start incorporating that into my daily
so I want to put that on. That's what I'm thinking. I've been wanting to do that, Rich, because I do it, but I haven't have it put out yet. So I'm looking at putting that on video and creating that, and people can just go to the website and actually see the ritual. And after that, it becomes your own, right? You make it your own in your own bathroom. And that's your anointing time. That's your sacred, because in ancient times, it was sacred bathing. The women had time off during her menses. This meant this was the time she didn't work. She got a week off out of 3 weeks. She got a chance to be with other women and talk and laugh and do what women do. Get your nails painted, do your henna, do your hair, have other women do your hair. You know, this was sacred bathing time. And now took all the sacredness out, and then women just work right through their cycle and don't even understand that during their cycle time, this is the time to stop. Like when I was married, during my cycle time, I didn't cook. My husband knew, he cooked. I was like, hey, I didn't cook, I didn't do housekeeping. It was my time. Even though I wasn't with other women, I had my time off. And so it's that kind of wisdom as an African medicine woman that I bring, because a lot of the Western women don't know that, you know? They don't know. And so when you have difficult cycles, women being in extreme pain, women hemorrhaging, not having energy, you know, a lot of that, you know, it's those kinds of practices that would make a huge difference.
Well, you know, as women, as you know, especially, you know, here in the States, we're always on the go. There's always one more thing to do. And when we're using other products to wash our face, cleanse our face, um, make ourselves look prettier, whatever that is, we're not really taking the time. We're just doing.
Right.
And what I saw as you were doing this is like allowing myself to feel me, even if it's only for a few minutes.
Yes.
You know, because right now, even when I go in and take a shower, okay, I know there's somebody else waiting who wants to take a shower or wants to come into the bathroom for something. And so I take my shower, I wrap my towel around me, and I leave for the next person. But taking those few minutes and thanking your body, it has to be such a wonderful thing that you do for yourself.
So that's the anointing. That's their blessing, because we as women, we're always giving our energy out. So this is an opportunity to bless ourselves with our own energy, with our own affirmation, in the way that we serve ourselves, and to become conscious of our bodies. Because a lot of what's happening is that when things happen, it didn't just fall out of the sky. The body's been nudging you for a while, say, hey, slow down. Hey, I need some rest. Hey, I need some water. Hey, you need to get out of this relationship. Hey, this job is sucking you dry. And you be like, okay, I'll get to it. And then finally, it's like, oh, you meant now.
We're all laughing.
Because we all have that experience, right? We know what that feels like, right? You're like, had I listened, you know, yeah. And so we give, because the other thing I have people do, because I had a private practice for a really long time. I also still do trainings, but even though I'm more involved with my skincare now, I have women or people, you know, when they wake up in the morning, the first thing they do, I have them say this phrase. It's really important. What is your body saying to you? What is your body saying to you? So just right now, just check in. What is your body saying to you right now? And just give your body that voice. Let's just check in with her. And then what you say, and I'm going to say it, my body is saying that she feels happy and relaxed. What is your body saying, Karen? Or Elise?
My body is saying that for the first time, I can feel, but I can feel good.
My body is saying, I'd love to go outside more today. And also, my body enjoys being in the company of other women who are honoring. in honoring that feminine frequency. I think I would love to hear a little bit more about, I almost want to, how would this, if everyone listened to Asara, we would live in a different world. So I think you're really speaking to the way women create, and when you were talking about, not everyone has babies, but we have that way of creating that is almost like multitasking, or it's non-linear because it doesn't happen all at once. But what would this world, like, how do you see this feminine energy? I see it as rising in the world. Just anything you have to say on that, how we're shifting.
Yeah, so I call that, intentional feminine leadership, right? And it's less to do with whether you're a male or female, right? It's about the principles, because right now we're following masculine principles in the way that we do leadership. And this is what we have as a result of that. And so now as women, we get to give ourselves permission to lead in a different way. And the only way that we will allow ourselves to have the confidence to do that is that we have enough self-love, because it's going to be going against the grain, right? It's going, and going against all the ways we've been taught. We just thought we can do it as good as men. So which we took as we can do it like men, right? And what we're is today is that we can do it as good as, but it's not even that. We can lead. And when we can lead inside of feminine leadership. And as men and as to other women, we can show what that feminine leadership looks like. Like you said, it's more fluid. We get to bring all of our humanity, and our spirituality. We don't have to, be compartmentalized, bring only the academic or the professional, but hey, leave my heart out of my business. Leave my, my relationships out. Leave my, like that doesn't exist. Pick that back up at 5 or 6. Right now, from 9 to 5, I'm this, right? And get us to bring, it allows us to have more empathy. It allows us to have more rest. It allows us to have more fun. Right? If life becomes more enjoyable, because one thing I'm clear about inside of our feminine leadership, we were not designed to toil our lives away. We weren't given this gift of life to work. That was not the design of our sacred experience on this planet, right? We all have ministries, and that may or may not have anything to do with what you do from 9 to 5, right? So that is what's fulfilling to us. So to me, inside of feminine leadership, or inside of being an African medicine woman, inside of being fine, fit, and fabulous, it's really about having a fulfilled life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your message is so important, and it really needs to be taught to children, and it needs to be taught in the schools, because at school you are told to leave everything outside the door, because now we're going to do math, or now we're going to do English. And yet there is something about what you've left outside that door. It's still here inside you. Trying to tell that voice, you can't participate, makes it more difficult. And I found when, I allowed myself to bring everything in with me, but also know how to section it out for my own comfort, not for my boss, not for my teacher, not for my husband, but for myself, because I can't take all those pieces away. They're me.
Yeah. Well said. And I am wondering if there's anything else you want to tell us about beauty or life. You've dropped so many pieces of wisdom. Oh, and I do want to just say, yeah, teaching our children is a great idea. And I think we think of aging. I always like to emphasize that aging begins with life. I mean, we're all moving through time and space, children, and really the best way to learn, if we call it super age or age, I call it how to super age. And that can begin in childhood, because the more aligned you are with yourself, as you guys have both brought up, the more aligned you are with your inner wisdom, you're going to move through life in a way that honors, and you will just naturally age in a way that you're fine, fit, and fabulous. It won't be, it won't be like a struggle, because I think we've been brought, I don't want to say brought up, but somehow we have this idea in our culture. I don't even know it's whose culture it is, that we've got to, aging is going to be this terrible thing, like we've been referring to. So the earlier, the better. Anything else you want to share with us, Asara?
So, yes, you go through struggle, but life doesn't have to be a struggle, right? You go through a challenge, but your life doesn't need to be challenging, right? And just, and so when I say I plan to be fine, fit, and fabulous and 100 plus years young, and so can you, it's about shifting your belief system to know that that's possible. And there are fabulous women out there that, even in our day now, I'm thinking about some that have passed, but I was thinking about Cicely Tyson, because she was 96. She looked more gorgeous at 96 than she did when she was in her 40s. It's just gorgeous, right? And then we have Lena Horne. And then, we have our president. I can't think of her name. I can't think of her name. She's an actress. Robinson, I can't think of her name, but so we have visuals, or look them up, women over 100 years old and see what they look like, or good looking women at 70 and 80. So you can begin to believe that it's possible, because if you just think, I believed it was possible based on the information I had received. So if you begin to believe that, because if you don't believe it, then it's like your efforts are going to be lackluster and you're not going to get results. But if you just say, okay, it's possible, even if you don't know how, but she said it's possible, she's living it, there are other women living it, I know it's possible, and I want to live it too. That will get you in the game. And it doesn't matter if you start off at 40, doesn't matter if you start off at 50, it doesn't matter if you start off at 60, because the body and the spirit is responsive.
Yeah.
We could abuse ourselves I used to have a private practice for 15, 16, 18 years. And in 1 year, turn it all around. The body and the spirit is responsive.
Yeah. I can name a couple other centenarians.
Yes.
Wang. In my book, Super Ager, I brought those in for the same reason. I tell stories of different super agers of different ages, but a few that come to mind: Wang Od Oge. She is a Filipino tattoo. She's a traditional tattoo artist, and I think she's 103 or 104, and she's stunningly gorgeous, stunning. And the way she carries herself too, because I think one thing that when you look at videos and photographs of her online, you see that internal, that it's not just, she feels very secure in herself and her beauty. It's not something like, beauty is not something external. Mm-hmm. And that's what you're saying, and that's what we're bringing forth. It's not like, oh, you put on a certain makeup. It's like, this is exuding from you. Dow Portion Lynch, unfortunately, she's no longer with us. I think she passed in February of 2020, but you can look up her videos online. She's absolutely gorgeous as well. I think she was 101, and she did a TED Talk, which reminds me of what you were just saying, Asara. She talks about the body like a tree, like we see the trees regenerating, and she's just and she says in her TED Talk, she talks to children, and she says, I'm going to be, part of the stars, and she's just wonderful. So Dow, Tao Portion Lynch, look her up as well.
Very nice.
So thank you so much for your wonderful offer. So let me just reiterate it. If somebody buys something on your website, we're going to put that in the show notes.
Yes,
And that is
full size, because I have a little gift size, but the full size, yeah.
okay.
Full size
A
of it.
full size product, and I highly recommend it. Smells really good. Oh, and one thing you can put, the great thing, the simple product is that you can put it all over your skin.
Yes, I
It's
forgot
not
to
just
say
on your
that
face.
everywhere. Yes. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
and it really does amazing things for your skin. And then you'll send us, if we email you and we
Yeah, email
get
me
product.
at myancienttreasure@gmail.com. You can get it from the
Okay.
website, myancienttreasure@gmail.com. Let me know you purchased, and then I will send you that guide. I think it's called the Asara's 9 treasured secrets for fit, fine, and fabulous skin for women 40 and above.
Okay, well, we will want to remember all of these wonderful tips and more.
You just say the
And
guide.
yes, thank you so much for sharing all your wisdom. Any final words, anyone?
Well, we'll have to have you back again because you are fabulous. And it's a message that I think when you hear it, you know that you can do it too. It's not, you don't have to change your whole life.
Right,
Okay? But if
right.
you take the time in your life,
Yes,
that's the difference.
yes,
So thank
yes.
you so very, very
That's
much.
it. Take the time in your life for you.
Absolutely.
Take the time in your life for you. And it's crazy that we even have to even say that, but that's the truth. You hit it right on, Karen, and I'd love to. And actually I am, now I'm ready to do podcasts and to share my message now and stuff. I've been working, so looking forward to sharing more with you and with others. Thank you so much.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mm.
So, Elise, you will provide us with show notes. And so, those of you listening, just go look at the show notes. You'll have all the information you need. And we look forward to another podcast in the next couple of weeks. Have a great day. Bye bye,
Thank
everybody.
you. Bye.
Bye. Ashe.
Ashe.